So, what is the aerial silks or aerial fabric? Aerial fabric is a type of performance in which one of or more artists perform acrobatics while hanging from a fabric or a silk from the ceiling. The fabric can be hung as two pieces or one piece, folded to make a loop, classified as a hammock or a drop or a cocoon. The performers climb the suspended fabric without the use of safety lines and rely only in their training and ability to ensure their safety. The use of the fabric to grab, suspend, fall, swing, and swing the body in various positions. The aerial silk can be used to fly through the air, performing certain postures and figures while flying. Some artists use spine pitch on their hands and feet to increase friction and grip on the fabric. The three main categories of tricks are climbing, figures, and falls or drops. The climbing or used by the aerialist range by pure practical efficiency, such as the basic climbing or the Russian climbing, to athletic and elegant ways of climbing, such as the climbing using only the arms. The figures are static postures in which the aerialists grab the fabrics around one or more parts of their body. In general, the more complicated the figure or tie, the stronger the frictional force and the less effort is required to support the body weight. Some figures, such as balancing on the hocks or hamstrings, actually allow the artist to completely free their hands. In that way, they can rest and allow the nutrients and the blood to return freshly to their upper limbs. The foot or shoe locks are a subcategory of tie-down or figure where the fabrics are wrapped around one or both feet. In a drop or fall, the artists grab themselves at the top of the fabric before falling into a lower positions. The drops can combine aspects of free falling or rotating oneself before landing in a new pose or position or posture. Preparing for a fall can be done in a pretty or aesthetic figure or pose, but the ultimate goal is the falling by itself instead of the posture. Of the three types of tricks, the fallings are, or the drops, require the more strength and are also the most dangerous. Pitch, dried pitch or pitch mixed with alcohol, is used to help the artists to maintain their grip. Aerial fabrics are a demanding art and require a high degree of strength, power, flexibility, courage, endurance, and grace, especially grace, to practice. The fabrics used are very strong, with some degree of elasticity. The fabric is a two-way stretch polyester lycra or tricot nylon. The width varies according to the routine and the acrobat. The fabric is usually quite long since it's folded for the rig, giving the acrobat two strips of cloth or fabric to work while doing their job. The low stretch fabrics are mainly used by beginners who have not yet developed the proper climbing technique. The medium elastic fabrics are the main choice of professionals and graduates of circus professional training programs. The width of the fabric is mainly a personal choice. The thickness of the fabric when joined or when the two fabrics are together is also influenced by the denier or technical thickness of the fabric. 40 deniers is a common option. The following applies to the 40 denier nylon fabric. 60 inches narrow is 60 inches narrow when open or spread, and thin when it is collected in both hands or in one hand. Quite common simply because the fabric is widely available. The 72 to 84 inches is for the average adult interpreters. The 96 inches is wide when open, thick when the fabrics are together. It is ideal for adults with large hands. The 108 inches is very wide and thick. This is for adults with very large hands, like Digimon hands or Mickey Mouse hands, or some special acts. I mean, when there are aerial silks duos, you must get into porter position to carry another person or your flyer, and it's very comfortable. The thicker the silk in your waist or in your hips. The length is a function of the height of the available space. For beginners, it is beneficial if the fabric falls beyond the ground. I mean, if there is a large piece of fabric laying on the ground, this allows the practitioners to perform the skills or to learn them in a lower level, when they can be seen and helped by the teacher. For intermediate and advanced users, it is sufficient that the fabrics fall into the floor, nearly to the floor. For all users, the required space is generally between 6 and 9 meters. There are a lot of tricks that can be done on an aerial fabric, about 3.5 to 4.6 meters, but for the most part, 6 to 9 meters is the best. The aerial fabrics were invented in the year 1995 by André Simard. The journey began when he was hired by Cirque du Soleil to develop and investigate new acts in the year 1987. This job was to discover original and imaginative ways to attract the audience to the shows. This is said in The Beautiful but Dangerous Art of Aerial Silk in the year 2010. Now the silks have been incorporated in the circus art as well as a form of aerial fitness. By the way, I read a long time ago that the origin of the silks, and by logic thinking, is the aerial rope. And the aerial rope was originated when a circus passing by in India saw some people performing yoga in the ropes. There is a kind of yoga that was performing by meditating in ropes. But I think that that will be another video. Well, that's all for this video. If you like it, please like, share and subscribe.